Hello and welcome everyone. This is DMI's Virtual Open Day for the DMI PRO program. I'm Caroline and I'm the Membership Manager here with the Digital Marketing Institute, and I'm also going to be your host today for today's virtual tour. And I'm joined by our US-based Digital Transformation Advisor, James Dowling. And
Hey,
I'm joined by our DMI tutor, who's based in Canada, Alex Tierney. So guys, we're going to have a great session today. We've run a few of these to date and they've always been really interactive and really engaging. So the guys here are really looking forward to this session. So before we get started, I just kind of wanted to walk you or draw you your attention to a few things here in relation to GoToWebinar and the control panel. So you'll just see there's a screen there showing an image at the moment and our three faces above it, but you might notice there's a little grey bar running just directly above that. You can move that bar up and down throughout the webinar. So when James and Alex are showing you sections of the platform and you want to have a larger look at what you're seeing, if you move that bar upwards towards the top of your screen, then we'll get smaller, but the image will get bigger. And you can do it vice versa as well if you want to see more of us at any point throughout the webinar. On the right hand side of your screen is a control bar. So in that area, first and foremost, I want to draw your attention to is a chat box. So in that, it's just for us communicating to you. So throughout this virtual tour at any point, if we want to send you a link or engage with you in any way in terms of more information related to the information, it will appear there. So just if you keep an eye on that chat box throughout this. I also want to draw your attention to the handout that's also available on that control panel. So we have a PDF available for download. At the moment, we're running a 30% discount offer on the DMI PRO program. Now this offer does end in a couple of days, finishing up on the 30th of August, but if anybody was kind of thinking about doing the DMI PRO and purchasing it this month, there's an opportunity there to get it at a discounted price, and that PDF goes through that pricing and the discounts available in a few different currencies as well. Then the other thing I wanted to draw your attention to is the question box there as well. So we have lots of different people from lots of different geographies. I think you can see from even myself and Alex and James, who are based all over the globe, that we speak to a global community, and that's who we'll have joining us today as well. So we want to see where you're tuning in from and be able to say hello to you as well. So use that question box to say who you are and where you're from, and we will say hello, and that will appear in that chat box area. Now, just to give you a little idea of the structure, how we're going to run things today. So James and Alex are going to be doing the virtual tour section of today's webinar. So James and Alex will be guiding you through the DMI program, the membership platform, and also the community as well. So whenever we're at the end of this virtual open day, you should have a really good understanding of what your learning experience with DMI will look like. But of course, the team here are always on hand to answer any of your questions. And speaking about questions, we've got a dedicated Q&A section for this webinar as well. Now, we want to get through as many of your questions as possible, so don't leave them to the very end whenever you see that we're moving into that Q&A area. Make sure that you're using that question box to ask your questions as and when they come up. So if you see something about the program you want to ask about, be sure to type it in then and there, and that way we capture as many of your questions as possible and can get to as many of them and get a good variety of them as well, so that every question that you have can be answered. Now, as I mentioned, we've run a few of these to date, and they're all available on our YouTube channel. So if you want to see more of us, this will be going up there, and you can catch previous versions. And we also have done virtual open days on some of the other programs as well, like the DMI Expert, etc. So you can catch them there as well. So without further ado, I'm going to pass over to James. So myself and Alex are going to disappear now and let James take the reins, but we'll be back on at different sections throughout this as the webinar progresses. So have a great session. It's great to have you here, and enjoy.
All right, thanks for that, Caroline. Hi, everybody. As she said, my name is James. I am one of the advisors here at the Institute. I am based out of Dallas. In the US, we are very much a global presence, as you can see, as we help students from all over the world further their education or wanting to get into the digital marketing world. And I know that you're here because you may have some interest in potentially enrolling into a course. And what I'm going to do is attempt to give you a bit of an idea and a taste of what the learning experience would be and the resources available to you on our platform through the course and our membership platform. It's an extremely extensive platform and with a ton of resources. So I'll try to do it justice in the short amount of time that we have, but you'll all also be able to register for a free trial if you haven't done so already, to take a further look into it at your own available time. So I'm going to get rid of our little faces here and jump straight in. So when you enroll into a course and you log on to your platform, you're going to be greeted by our membership platform. Now this is going to be the course page, course user experience homepage, but this is going to be an area of your experience where you will have a fair amount of resources to rely on that we will go into deeper dive later, but you'll be able to expand your experience quite a bit. So navigating to your actual courses, and just FYI, I do have all these preloaded here just to save us loading time here. But you'll select your courses tab here. And what that will do is bring up your actual course page that you are enrolled in. As Caroline said, we do have a variety of courses here at the Institute, and that's one of the reasons we do recommend having a conversation with an advisor, is to kind of find out a little bit more about yourself, what your goals are, your experience level in the field of digital marketing, so we can best recommend which course might be the best fit for you, as we have courses designed for people completely new to senior level management who are maybe subject matter experts looking to expand their knowledge or wanting to specialize in a certain area of the field. So the course that we're going to be talking about today is our most popular one that we have, which is going to be that pro level certification. The reason this is our most popular course is because it is the most well-rounded. It is very much designed to upskill yourself across all the major areas of the field. So in your current job or your hopeful future role as a digital marketer, you won't be asked to complete a task that you don't have knowledge on. So you will feel very confident to be able to run a full campaign through any level or method of digital marketing. So as I said, this will be your main page for your courses. You can see it's only 2% as I'm not currently enrolled in this course. I actually completed version 7 a while back, and now we are on version 8 of it. Since it is self-paced and on-demand, it will actually pick up exactly where you left off, but we are going to jump into all modules so you can see exactly all the individual topics that you will get to learn about. So in your actual course page, you'll be greeted with a variety of different areas that you can go to. One being your class forum. There are going to be other students on your class. Even though it is self-paced and on-demand, you will have the ability to communicate, collaborate, ask questions with the other students going through the exact same course that you are as well as a course info tab here. Highly recommended that you read this before starting. It gives you a bit more information about the actual course, the timelines for it. Even though it is on demand, you will have a full 24 weeks to complete it, as well as some information about creating a sandbox account, which we'll talk about a little bit as well. You'll have down here your candidate ID, your course expiry date when you need to sit for your actual certification exam. And I don't have one because I'm not enrolled in it, but you will have your exam voucher code, which will come very handy when registering for your exam. It will wipe out the registration fee as the first attempt at your exam is covered in your enrollment. Moving on down here, you can see the 10 individual topics and modules on this actual course. As I was saying, it is very much designed to make you as well-rounded of a digital marketer as possible. So it's very much designed to cover all those main bases. So you have content marketing, social media, SEO, PPC, email, website optimization, and analytics, and how to develop a full actual digital marketing strategy from creation to implementation and reporting. So you will be able to make sure that you're able to measure your ROI and make sure you're actually being effective with your campaign strategy and efforts and dollars. For today, we're going to jump into the paid search PPC module 5, to give you a look at what the actual user experience will be like on the actual course. Yes, I am still here. So once you're into your module, you'll be greeted with a video box here, and this is where your lecture content will be delivered. When you first enter into a module, you'll be greeted by your actual presenter. I'm not sure if the sound will come through here, but this is Carl. He is very much a search marketing expert at all things paid search, with over 17 years of experience in the field. He is a subject matter expert that we rely on quite a bit to whether it be instruction or webinars or case studies. He helps us a great bit. So he'll give himself a bit of an introduction about himself and what you will be learning on this actual module. And as you scroll down, you can actually see the course topic here, module topic, the resources available to you on this module, and this will be the same throughout every single module, is you'll be able to download the slides. And this is great because not only will you be able to go through the slides with Carl as he is teaching it, but you'll be able to hold on to them for future reference even after your course is completed. So if you're in your role and you get tasked with a PPC campaign that you want to get refreshed on, you can always refer back to your slides and how to properly do so. You can download the module transcript, which is great as well because you'll be able to take notes along with him, as well as study notes for afterwards, getting ready for your exam. You'll have the solution for the practical exercise, which we'll talk about in a second, and a glossary of terms being covered. Here is the bio of your subject matter expert for your individual module. You can see here, 13 years, not 17 years. And he's worked for Yahoo and a variety of other major companies in the field. Bonus content here is going to be a great resource as well. Now, these are resources that are not necessarily required to complete your actual module or prepare you for your exam, but these are for you to further your knowledge. So all of these links here are going to refer back to the membership platform, which we first jumped onto when you logged into your platform. And these will be topics related to this individual module for you to further your knowledge on your own time. So while we do say that this course is 30 hours, that is 30 hours of just straight lecture content. You will spend quite a bit of additional time, whether it be in bonus content or quizzes, going through the other resources, study transcripts, or doing walkthroughs, hands-on, or practical exercises. So we'll go here to one of the individual modules. We're going to jump down to the paid search. Yes, I am still here. And this will be Carl teaching you how to actually measure your effectiveness in a PPC campaign. And you can see here, this individual module, or lesson in this module is going to be 6 minutes and 59 seconds. And this is great because you can actually see each individual video. So whether it be, you can see the total is 3 hours and nearly 50 minutes. And instead of making that one large lecture, we actually break it down by topic within PPC and individual modules, so lessons, so you can really kind of budget your time. So if you have only 10 minutes before you have to jump into a meeting or go do whatever it is you may have to do, you can see, you know what, I can take this 7 minute and 7-second video lecture here on organic search. So it really allows you to really budget your time, because we do understand that majority of our students are full-time working professionals, and they have day-to-day job duties, family, you know, you're going to get busy. So we really want to make this as easy as possible to fit into your existing lifestyle. So just to give you a quick look at what the video looks like, Cal here will be down here talking to you about how to actually manage, take that deeper dive into your ads and your analytics. And this again, just to give you an idea of what it will look like for you as you go through your lecture content. So we'll pause Kyle there, and we're going to jump over to talk about some of the practical exercises, but you can see as well, we don't want to just teach you theory. We really want to help you develop some hands-on actionable skills for when you leave the course and enter into your role, or for your current role in digital marketing already. We want you to be able to feel confident in being able to actually do these tasks. So you'll have walkthroughs to teach you that. There's tutorials and quizzes to actually test your knowledge to make sure you're retaining the information. And you can do all of these as many times as you like. That is the great benefit of learning on demand in a self-paced way, opposed to an in-person instructor-led scenario. You can't really pause your professor and ask them to go back as many times as you'd like. So that's a great feature for on-demand. So you can actually do that and walk away and come back whenever you have the available time. So we'll go into the practical exercise for this PPC module. And what you can see here is it will actually task you with setting up a Google Ads campaign, creating a paid search campaign, and the budgeting and the timing, who your demographic is. So it will actually take you through all of this and step-by-step how to do it. And you can see here, we do actually give you the ability to create a sandbox test account with Google. You can see mine here. Hopefully it's still up here, yep. And what this will let you do is, in tandem with the actual practical exercise, is to, in Google Ads, in a virtual scenario, so you can get the experience before going into a live scenario with actual money and a company's campaign dollars, get that experience so you can feel comfortable in how to do it. And it will take you through step by step in how to create a campaign here in Google Ads and PPC. So again, really much, this is very surface level to just show you a bit of the features that you'll be able to get, but it will take you step by step through how to properly do this. So going to jump back over to the membership platform for you now, as again, this is going to be an area where you're going to spend quite a bit of time. We launched this membership platform a few years ago, largely based on some of the feedback that we got from our students who had gone through the course. They said, course was great, gave me everything I needed to prepare myself for my current role or my future role. But the problem with digital marketing is it moves so fast. How do you currently stay up to date with what is happening in the industry? So with that feedback, we decided to launch the membership platform. And what we do here is we post weekly on it and update it weekly with different blogs, webinars, case studies, toolkits, budgeting toolkits, short courses from ourselves and partners in the industry, and just a lot of different resources for you to, again, stay up to date with the ever-changing landscape of digital marketing. You can see here's some of the current topics up here. Podcasts are everywhere now. Everyone wants to start one on a variety of topics. They're easy to start at home in a pandemic, from your closet if need be. But you can see here how to start a podcast, full budgeting toolkit, email and social media ROI calculator, brand style elements, how to manage your online reputation. So you can see just a few of the different resources here. And the great thing about the membership library is every bit of content on here is completely categorized by topic. So if you want to be able to see all of the information regarding social media, you come down here to the quick access resource and click social media, and you'll be taken to every piece of content relating to social media, whether it be a webinar, blog, case study, whatever that may be. Scrolling down a bit more, you can see the articles and case studies. We do have case studies from some major companies. I know I just came across one on here from Tesla recently. Again, ebooks, toolkits, and presentations, videos and webinars. Much like Caroline said, we do archive all of these live day videos as well as we do our events, which we do 12, maybe a little bit more than 12 a year, live events with subject matter experts from around the world on a variety of topics. You can see here we have a couple coming up in the near future, which I believe Dr. Alex will be talking a little bit further about. Clicking over to CPD here, we do give you the ability to earn some continuous professional development credits, whether it's completing toolkits, walkthroughs, tutorials, or short courses on here. If you have an employer that requires you to show that you're continuing to further your knowledge in your field, this is a great resource because you'll be able to take short courses, much like up here. You can see we have some short courses here available for you. Now, these short courses are not actual certifications that you'll earn, but you will earn professional development credits to be applied to your CPD. These are just short courses which we will generate based off of feedback questions from alumni and subject matter experts who we rely on to help us create our curriculum of current topics in the field. Going back to CPD here. I don't have access to it, but it will actually show you all your CPD courses and the amount of credits that you have earned. Community is a great feature. I know Dr. Alex is going to plan to talk about a bit about that more, as well as the support features that we offer here for students. But one other last bit I wanted to show you is the skills test. So if you are new to digital marketing, or if you do have experience in the field, this is a great area to kind of test your knowledge to see if you are currently, kind of up to snuff with the latest trends and practices in the field. It's a quick 54 question test, and it will give you a breakdown of areas of proficiency and maybe some areas that you, didn't score as well on that you may want to potentially enroll into a course, or just using the resources in the membership library to kind of update yourself with some latest trends and practices to help you in your career. So that, again, just a really quick, short kind of synopsis on your user experience enrolling the course and using some of the additional resources on the membership platform. I know Dr. Alice is going to give you a bit more info on the support side that we offer students, because we don't want to just enroll you and leave you out to dry. We do want you to feel like you are very much can come to us with any kind of question that you may have. So without further ado, I'm going to hand over to Dr. Alex, and she will take it from there.
Excellent, thank you, James. So I'm going to show my little screen now. Give me 1 second. There we go. Okay. Can you guys all see that? That's great. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through what type of support we offer. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to show you what kind of built-in support that we have. And then I'm going to show you what kind of support students offer one another. And then we'll talk about our support team that's here to help you out. So first things first, as James showed you, this is your module page. So in addition to all of the modules that are there on your course, we have a course info page here at the top right. So we'll click into that. And what we've done to set you up for the online course is we've identified all the pertinent information that we think you need to know to be fully prepared for your course. Sorry, there's a big gust of wind. We're moving from hot Texas to cold Ottawa. I'm not sure if we have any Ottawa viewers today, but we are certainly not in Texas anymore. It is cold and windy today. So apologies if you're hearing big gusts of wind behind me. Anyway, so we have identified here the important information. We have your level and assessment, your program structure, so you know what you're getting into. I'd recommend reading this as soon as you join the course. Your exam overview. So your exam for this course, 3 hours, 185 questions, and it's all multiple choice. So sorry, we'll just go back up here just to your structure. So that's very important when it comes to just understanding what you're doing, especially when you're doing an online course. You want to sort of see what track you're on. And just while we're on this page, I'll just point out that, as James mentioned, the course itself is 24 weeks. So it officially starts the 1st of the month after you pay. So if you pay today, you'll start the 1st of September, and then you have until the 16th of February to complete the course, and that's tons of time. It's about 30 hours, and we say per module you should do an additional 3 hours of extra reading, working through the practical exercises, a bit more research on your own. You can get all this information here on this course info page. Because this is online learning, we've taken special care to give advice on how you can pace yourself. So it's not like we're just going to say, watch the videos, do the exam. We actually give some structure on what it's like doing online learning. We are always looking at student feedback. We are obsessed with it. So any type of comment that you give, we really build it into how we deliver this program. So we want to make sure that the learning is customized to you. So we've taken all of our current feedback and we've put it on this page and just given you sort of some advice on how you can progress in the course. Before I move on this page, I just want to show you, sorry if I'm making anyone dizzy by scrolling around a bit too much. I want to show you the exam preparation area. So this is placed throughout your course. It's not like you just have to go to a small link on your course info page. You can find it throughout. But this is really helpful. We've prepared all of our quizzes per module for the DMI Pro here. And we have a couple for each module because we don't want you just taking the same quiz over and over again in your preparation. So we have lots of different quizzes per module here. And then we've also put together all the practical exercises. And again, it's just organized by module. It's easy to do or easy to find, a bit more challenging to do. You can go from there. Okay, so that's a brief look at your course info page. So again, this is just the built-in support that we offer from day one. But if you want a bit more comprehensive support, we have a support section. You can access it at the top right of your page here. And we've built a section that we've called our knowledge base, but this also contains a glossary, it's word searchable, and there's a way to contact the team. So let's take a quick look at the knowledge base. This is basically all of our frequently asked questions, and we are updating this all the time as well based on student demand. So there's simple questions that are administrative, like how do I change my email address on record? But then we have more detailed questions such as how can I prepare for my exam? So if we click into this one, you can see that we actually have a walkthrough that one of our tutors, Daniel, has put together, and I'm not going to play it for you, but he walks through clicking through the My DMI program, and he points you to helpful areas for preparation. Let's go back to the knowledge base here for a sec. Other things you can do is just if you want to know a bit more sticking to exams, not to scare anyone, you can type in exam at the top there, and you'll get lots of different information on your exam. So what's the pass rate? When should I schedule it? Insider tip, we suggest you schedule around week 16 of 24. So there's tons of information here. I think the knowledge base is great. If I was starting a course, I just click into it and I would go through and see like the diagnostic test that James mentioned at the end there. I'd click and see what are the things that I don't even know I should have questions about. So I'll look through here and you can see, how many times can I take it? Does the score have any bearing on my own exam score? And it doesn't. Just little things like that. So that's knowledge base. Briefly, we'll go to the glossary. James pointed to this in the resources section of your course, but it's also in our support section. And again, it's very simple. You can scroll through, you can go word searchable. So let's do inbound marketing. Oh, there we go. Boom, it's there. So it's very easy. We do update this quite a lot. And it's really helpful because I think it's worth mentioning that our DMI Pro course is created for a variety of people in their career. It could be that you're upskilling in your own career. It could be that you're changing career. So it's helpful then to have these resources such as a glossary, because when you are going to write your exam, you do need to maybe brush up a bit on certain terms and that kind of thing. But the Pro is it's not just for a certain person in their career, it's for a variety of people. So the glossary is there to help support sort of any learner there. The last thing is if you just want to talk to a human, well, lucky for you, there's a lot of us waiting on the other side to help you out. So you go into the contact thing here, just at the far right, and scroll down, and you can talk to, we have a tech support team, we have your program team, general support, whatever it is. You select your course and you can type in help. Please be a bit more specific if you are writing in. But anyway, the team is there to help. And you're probably at this point wondering, who is your support team? So you have a program manager, and they run the administrative aspect of your course. Then there's our tutor team. So our head tutor would be Daniel, who you might see his face pop up a few times on the course page here. And then you have a wider support team there to help out. So there's lots of people here, and we usually get back to students, I would say within 1 to 2 days, 2 days maximum. So we are we're here to help. So that's it for support. The thing that I think is just so unique to the DMI, because it's a real strong student, it's a very active part of our support system, is actually its community support. So James pointed to this as well earlier on, but I think if we're looking at what kind of benefits you get from joining the DMI, of course, you get an excellent education, but you also get access to a huge global network of fellow digital marketers. So at the moment, as you can see, we have 80,000 members across the world. And we were talking about this the other day, but even our call today demonstrates just how global we are. James in Dallas, me in Ottawa, Caroline's in Dublin, we have an Australian team, and we're all over. So we do have a big community in that sense. There are 4 aspects to our community. We've kind of organized it that way. We have our classroom, and like James, I'm not currently registered in a specific course, but if I was, it would appear right here, and I would use this all the time because the way that the course starts, everyone will start on the 1st of the month. So you're all on a similar timeline. So you'll all probably be working through modules within a few days or weeks of each other. You'll all start preparing for the exam around the same time. So it's a great way if you can say, oh, you know, I've just read this really interesting article on PPC, or I'm really struggling with my SEO module. You know, now everyone's using Zoom. You could get a study group together, talk about networking that way. So it's a really, really great resource here. So that's only just for your classroom. If we jump out, we can go to our general forum. And here, I've isolated a few that I'd like to show you, but I'll just give you an idea of what it looks like. So people can post tons of stuff. And we see here, it's everything from help Facebook versus Google Analytics, exam prep. One of the ones I've isolated here is that this person passed their exam. So I'm just going to click here. So they passed their exam with 91%. That's fantastic. And they've so kindly let us know what they did right. And I think it's good for them. They're very honest what they did wrong. So they initially said when they first started taking the course, they wanted to write down every single thing on paper, and it was just taking them ages to work through it. So that study approach wasn't working for them. They decided to change it, and they watched the videos, just taking down notes here and there, and that's what worked for them. So I think it's just important to note sometimes we can be quite hard on ourselves when we're studying, and we think if I'm not studying the way that I intended initially, then I'm a failure. And that's not right at all. It's more that just change the approach that you're doing and work on something new. So anyway, so the student did that. They changed their approach, and clearly it worked, 91%. And they talked through how they prepared, what it was like writing the exam, all that kind of stuff. So these are helpful. We have tons of students actually who've written testimonials like this. But moving away from that specific course discussion, just this month, the lovely Caroline, who started this call here, she posted about a job opportunity. And this one I think is one of my favorites, and this is an active thread. It was started in September 2019 and it's still active. Career change at 48, any tips on freelancing? And then we've had tons of members jump in here and say, I did this, or here's an opportunity. So it's fabulous. Everyone, it's really active. People are really engaging and just incredibly supportive. So it's wonderful. Okay, so that's general. I'd like to also point out my favorite section. It is the show and tell section of the forum. So in a similar way, this is general. It's open to 80,000 people, so no pressure on writing an exciting post. And it's about the community showcase. So again, our lovely host, Caroline, started this. And basically what she's done is she said, tell the community about you. So this is to get that networking going. Who are you? What do you do? And if you could share an accomplishment, or you also could share sort of a new project that you're working on, people could kind of help you out a bit. So again, I've identified, oh, maybe I haven't, jumped the gun there. Well, let me jump ahead. There are a few posts that I wanted to show you about. Oh, here we go, actually do have it. So I'm a bit biased here. I've selected a Canadian post from the lovely Elizabeth in British Columbia, the other end of the country from me right now. And she's introduced herself, and she said that she's a marketing and project coordinator for a non-for-profit business resource center based out in BC. And she's actually already completed our DMI Pro course, so the course that you guys are looking at today. And she's talked about how it's helped her sort of with building out her business. And what she's done is she's actually returned to do our postgraduate program. And she said she's looking forward to increasing my skills to share with rural businesses. I quite like this post because it's a student who really enjoyed one course, is expanding into our postgraduate course. But what she's also done is she's responded to this course, this post up here by Xavier Murtaugh, who's actually one of the master's students that I work with. And Xavier said he's in Australia, so they're talking across the world. He said, this is what I work in, here are my key areas. And Xavier's post is quite great. He's saying, if you are reading this and you're currently doing a DMI course, I commend you. You have made the right decision to invest in your future. Digital skills are current and future currency. And Elizabeth responds and says, thank you for those encouraging words. And then she does her own post here. So already people are talking. Xavier's post is from a couple of months ago. She is getting it up again. And it's quite encouraging. Okay, I could talk about the showcase all day because I just think it is so interesting. But I just want to finish off going back to our community forum. Just a quick click here. And then we just have another section that's on announcements from the DMI. And as an announcement, I'd just like to point you lastly to the events portion of our membership platform. So this is moving away from support and just talking about some upcoming events we have. So we do have live webinars with experts. Our current one that is coming up right around the corner on September 17th is how to start a podcast, your perfect podcast plan. And Caroline can talk a bit more about this if anyone has any questions, but basically what we're going to do is talk about how you can incorporate podcasting into your business, whether it's a fit for your business. And we're working with Will Francis, and Will is an expert in the area. He's fabulous. And we've worked with him on our own podcast too. A little plug if anyone's interested in listening to the DMI podcasting. Okay, I know I've done a whirlwind of the DMI support and community, but I think I'm going to leave it at that for now. If Caroline and James want to come back on, I will close out my screen. There. I hope I haven't forgotten anything, but if there's any questions, please jump in. And happy to help.
Not at all. Thanks, Alex and James. Alex rounded out on that webinar. So I'm actually just about to pop in a registration link for that webinar now into the chat box if anybody wants to join us. Our webinars are great. We usually have about 2,500 people register for and about 1,000 people turn up. So I suppose you're in a great community, and those Q&A sessions are always really interactive and engaging. So I suppose it's a good introduction into what other supports that DMI have to offer outside of the program. Since I mentioned about engaging Q&As, we're going to jump into ours now. So if you haven't already, get your question in because the team here are primed and ready to answer all those questions. And I suppose if there's any question about weather being similar across the globe at the minute, we've covered it today. It's wet and windy in Dublin, it's windy in the States, in Texas, and it's windy in Ontario as well. So we're going to jump straight in, and this question is going to go to Alex. So Gazelle is asking, if I finish the course before the scheduled date for my test, can I do the test any earlier?
Yes, you certainly can. So I think we send out registration emails. We need to register you for your exam. We do that a couple weeks in, and then absolutely fire ahead. Yep. So you don't have to stick to, you have a max period of 24 weeks, but you can absolutely go ahead for sure.
Perfect. And Ian is asking, he's saying he's a little confused as to when and where the test comes in. And
Yeah.
he's also referenced our master's program here. So I suppose that while today's event is primarily concentrated on the DMI Pro, we are happy to take questions on the other programs as well. So I suppose maybe to explain that, if you could show and explain the difference between the assessments for the DMI Pro against what you would encounter with the likes of our CML or CDMM programs.
Yes, and you're in luck, Ian, because I'm the program manager for our master's program. So if you have any questions, I could talk all day about it. Okay, so I should have mentioned this. The exam for the DMI Pro course that we're walking through today is they're all done at test centers. Now, because of COVID, we've been able to do remote proctoring as well. If you are uncomfortable going to a test center, or if just the test centers aren't open where you are. So it's a computer-based exam, and it is 185 questions over 3 hours. You have a max of 3 hours to do it, and it's completed at the end of your course. So once you feel that you've completed all the modules, you've done all the practice, you feel you've studied and you're good to go, that's when you can take your exam. So it must be completed by 24 weeks from your start date. But you can do it ahead of time. When we recommend booking a couple weeks in advance as well. So I hope that clarifies that. But if you do have any follow-up questions, please jot that in. So there's no assignments for the DMI Pro. In the DMI Expert and the DMI Master, there are 2 assignments that are research-based, and then another is marketing plan. And then for your master's, then you also have a thesis to do, and there's a couple other smaller assignments in there, but I won't go into detail on that. But there is a thesis component to the master's program. I think that's everything, but if there's anything else, just let me know.
Perfect. And since we're on testing, we'll continue in that vein for a moment before we move on to something else. So take a deep breath, Alex. I've got a couple more for you. So we're going to go to Johnny's question next. So what happens if you fail an exam the first attempt? Where do we go from here?
All right, and that is okay, Johnny. I should say our pass rate, I think, is in the 80s. I think it's a very high pass rate. You're really well prepared with the course, if you do the course. But if you do fail, you have 2 chances to resit your exam. There's a fee to resit it. And you need to have that done within 24 weeks, within that 24-week period. So that's why we recommend taking your exam and booking it around week 16. So that way you do have a bit of time to study again and resit the exam if you're unsuccessful. And I should note as well, the pass rate, the grade that you need to pass on the exam for the Pro is 60%, that's 60. Yeah, I mean, we do have a high pass rate, but we do have a system if you do need to resit, and we can help you. You can write into us and we can give you a breakdown of next steps. We also have our tutor Daniel who can help you if you have any questions, any areas that you really noticed you have a bit of weakness in. We have a team who can help you study as well.
Perfect. Well, you actually covered off another question there about the pass rate. So you killed 2 birds with 1 stone there. So Alice is asking, I'll just quickly answer this one. Alice, you're asking, is there exam as well as assignments for the DMI Expert? There isn't. They're 2 distinct. So DMI Pro is exam-based assessment. DMI Expert is assignment-based assessment. You don't have an exam and assignments for the DMI Expert. So I hope that clears that up. Keeping on the theme of exams and certification, and we'll move on to something else very shortly, but from British, are there different grades, and are those grades displayed on the certificate? Alex, if you can just round that portion of those questions out for me.
Absolutely. So for the Pro, it's just, you know what, I'm drawing a blank here, but on the Pro, you get your certificate and there isn't a distinction merit level, right? Yeah.
Yeah, so you get actually, you'll get your exam results as in a report that will say your score, but the certificate itself just actually references the certification that you achieved. So I suppose you have your report card or scorecard for how you did in the exam, but the certification itself doesn't display the grade. It just says that you have your certification.
Yeah.
So
sorry, I'll add in for the postgrad programs though, if you do, just because I know I saw in the questions, there's a few questions about the expert. Those ones do display merit distinction, and that's for our North American viewers, that's a UK Irish sort of function of distinguishing between different grades. That's indicated on your certificate for those ones, but yeah, for the Pro, you just passed. Sorry to catch up.
Thanks, Alex. So James, I'm going to come to you now. So we have Dana from Mexico, and she is asking, do you recommend for me to start the program as a recent graduate for marketing, or should I wait till I get a little bit more experience?
Definitely jump on in right away. I mean, we get a wide variety of students from different levels of ability, and it's interesting to see the different kind of backgrounds and demographics that we get for enrollments into the courses. And the skills that you're going to be able to learn now as a recent grad, you're going to be able to apply to what you learned in school and really help set yourself up on your journey to getting and landing a job in a digital marketing field and role. And what we do see a lot of students doing is they will quickly put that they are actually enrolled in their course on their LinkedIn or their resume. So if they are starting that interview process, that they can showcase to that potential future employer that, look, like, I've finished my degree already. I'm furthering my abilities in digital marketing specifically, and I'm projected to finish this course by this date. A lot of employers will really see the value in a professional certification in digital marketing. A lot, especially in the field of marketing, they are a lot of employers. If you look on Glassdoor or Indeed or any kind of job site, they're calling out that they would like their applicants to have a professional certification. So if you are starting that interview process, it's a great way to tell them, that you may not have it yet, but you will have it soon.
Perfect. Thanks, James. I'm going to continue with you now. So we have a question from Pritish and one from Lacey around accreditation, like is the courses accredited, but also how are they recognized both in industry, but perhaps you could also talk to geographies as well in your answer there, James, if you wouldn't mind.
Yeah, definitely. So our courses are what is known as industry accredited. And what that means is it's very much well recognized in the industry. As we kind of touched on a bit in talking about the curriculum, we actually help create the curriculum with the help of an advisory council. And this is a council made up of professionals from the leading tech companies in the field of digital marketing, as well as other companies that you would know, like Coca-Cola, IBM, and other major brands. And so with their assistance, we do update the course 2 times a year, basically. And that is one of the reasons why it is so well recognized in the field and industry accredited. And I'm sorry, what was the second part of it? Oh, geography. As far as geography goes, Caroline mentioned it earlier, we are very much a globally recognized certification, as we've had students in, I believe it's over 140 different countries now. And a lot of those countries, there are frameworks, education frameworks, and our courses do map onto the majority of those education frameworks at a pretty significantly high level. So employers can see that credential, map it to their education framework, and see the depth of your education. Here in the States, the pro level course is actually AMA validated. So the American Marketing Association has viewed the curriculum and and have validated their course to basically be a dual certification with their PCM certification, their professional certified marketer. So with the course, you would actually earn not only the DMI globally recognized CDMP, Certified Digital Marketer Professional certification, but you'll also earn that AMA certification as well. So very much a great skill boost and resume booster for yourself.
Perfect, thanks, James. I'm going to turn to Brenda's question now, which is, she is asking, will there be opportunities for live group chats with the instructors or the industry experts? Alex, do you want to start that? And then I know there's a short answer here, but I suppose this is where membership really comes into play.
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry, I just had to make sure I hadn't muted myself there. Short answer is there is not through the course program itself. It's more, the discussion is more with our support team and with the students themselves. But that's just for the course. And as we sort of talked about, joining the DMI is so much more than just taking your course. So I'm going to move to Caroline, who's right there for me, and to talk all about the wonderful aspects of membership.
Yeah, so I suppose really, like, our subject matter experts are subject matter experts because, like us, they're trusted and are an authority and really committed to actually progressing people's careers and knowledge and skills. So with that, whilst we don't have in the program live group chats and with the instructors and industry experts, they do actually address a number of questions and support some of the questions that come in on the forum. So for example, recently we had somebody that had a question about the utilizing of an online SEO tool, and the subject matter expert that built the tool for that, Joe Williams, you'll find him on some of our podcasts and posts previous webinars in the library and in a lot of our ebooks and content that's provided. He came in and actually did recorded a video walking them through the process, but also provided further information on it. And he's not alone. That's just one example. Cathal, who actually James showed a bit of modular content and is a regular commenter on the forum as well. So you'll actually see some posts where if he didn't get to a question in a webinar, he went on there and addressed them afterwards. So you'll see it through that sort of engagement. But of course, our webinars are always a great place to ask the experts as well. We have such a great and vast community of subject matter experts, and those webinars are an excellent opportunity to ask them and engage with them on any projects or problems that you have. So I think I've answered that one in full for you, but if you have any other questions, just pop it into that question bank there. Let's go to Johnny, and Johnny is asking back to the testing and the quizzes in the modules. So are the quizzes mandatory? So I suppose this is distinct from the exam. It is the quizzes. So if there are the quizzes mandatory? If not, how do I reach them? And I suppose if we park that one because he's got two questions, but we'll answer them separately. So Alex, do you want to take that one?
Sure. The quizzes are not mandatory. We highly recommend you do them because the structure of the quizzes and the types of questions that are on the quizzes are the same type of questions that are on the exam. They're not the same questions, but they're the same type of questions. So we really recommend, and also just, you know, from an education point of view, you need to do those exams to really commit what you've learned to memory. So I would absolutely recommend doing the quizzes, but they are not mandatory.
Thank you, Alex.
Definitely.
So Johnny's asking about, once I'm enrolled, am I a member or are there extra steps? So I guess I'm the best person for that one. So Johnny, you become a member. You can become a member straight away. I put a link in there so you can go in and set up a free membership account. But we obviously have different membership categories. So that would be a free member account where you have restricted access to some of the content and benefits that DMI offer as part of our membership value proposition. However, alongside your program, you get the upgrade to the paid membership and get unrestricted access to all those benefits and activities. So with the DMI Pro, you get 12 months of that power membership that accompanies your program purchase. And if it's the DMI Expert, it's 18 months, and if it's the DMI Masters, then it's 24 months. They're all aligned and tied to, I suppose, the program duration and how long you need the accompanying supports that are offered through membership with those programs. But to answer your question, it's simple, it's easy. All you do is register, and you're there as a DMI member and have all the benefits that associate with that as well. So then if we go to Angela. So Angela is from Ohio, and she's asking about, with all the things going virtual due to the pandemic, does the course provide insights on best practices for this new normal, perhaps more effective ways to grab the target market's attention amid all the virtual or digital marketing thrown at them? So I suppose, Alex, shall I come to you, or James? Both.
Both.
Alex?
Yeah, we can.
Okay, let's go.
Caroline,
Alex, you want to answer that one?
Yeah, and actually I'm going to put you on the spot in a second as well, because I'm going to talk about the wonderful membership. So the course has not been updated to include sort of this new normal, and that's a very good term, because really who knows how long we're going to be all calling in from our living rooms. But no, so in terms of COVID specific, there isn't an update on that, because that's our course. But going to Caroline, the membership has been phenomenal in terms of talking about what do we do in our new normal. And actually Caroline published a wonderful white paper on COVID and the effects it has on business. So that's my response.
Thanks, Alex. Yeah, so the programs are updated annually. So, but obviously this landscape moves very, very quickly. And of course, with the pandemic, unfortunately, it was unforeseen. So some of the content, unfortunately, couldn't be addressed within the program. This time next year, I might be saying a completely different thing, but that's where membership really does come into play, and that's how we're able to address and support you in that area. So as Alex mentioned, we surveyed all our membership base, and based on the results of that, created a white paper that basically said and went through how people were dealing with it, how it was impacting them personally, their businesses, what activities they were doing to see their way through, and how they were preparing themselves during this time. So that way, whenever restrictions lifted and lockdown lifted, how they were best placed and how they envisioned what the future looks like as well. So we looked at all those different perspectives and angles. Now that's actually, I suppose, hearing from the member community, but we also have taken guidance and information and put information up there regarding from our subject matter experts as well. So Alison Battersby, who's one of our program speakers, but also has informed in a lot of content within the membership, provided a handbook in terms of managing your social media content during this time. We recently had Karen Talavera, who spoke about actually going back to basics and getting those email marketing blueprints, using this as an opportunity to go back and actually look at your strategy and how that you can utilize this as a way to engage and maintain your past and present and future audiences as well. So there's lots of different content up there, all tailored to helping you manage this new normal and do it the best possible abilities to make you stand out and stand out from the crowd and get ahead as well. Okay, so we're going to go to James here for the next question from Ashlyn, which is, hi guys, if I purchase a course today, right now, do I have to wait? Do I have to start it on the September the 1st? So I don't know whether Alice, Ashlyn, from that question, wants to wait or doesn't want to wait. So maybe you speak to both.
Yeah, no, I mean, so we do enroll in intakes and cohorts with official start dates. If you enroll in the middle of the month, we will give you access to the program so you can start your studies sooner. So you don't actually have to wait until the 1st. However, your 24-week duration for the course doesn't officially start until that official start date of September 1st. So it's a great way to actually buy yourself a bit more time and flexibility on the course. And yeah, since it is self-paced and on demand, there is no reason why you couldn't get started sooner. So it's definitely a good way to, kind of manage that timeline a bit more. I mean, the 24-week duration is typically more than enough time for a student. We typically see students finish all of the lecture content and exercises around the maybe 14-week mark, giving them plenty of time to officially go back and study and test for their exam, and then resit if necessary. Not usually an issue, but it really does give you more than enough time.
Perfect. Thanks very much, James. I see a few people asking for that white paper actually. So if you go onto our LinkedIn page or website, or even I sent a link earlier in the chat box for setting up a free membership account. If you use any of those, you'll be able to access it. But if not, if you pop us an email afterwards, we'll definitely send it out to you directly as well. So just if anybody is looking for that.
To piggyback off of that, Caroline, too, another one COVID-related article that you guys posted on the membership, I remember, was around interviewing during this time, which was a great resource with so many people looking for jobs right now. Best practices for interviewing in a virtual scenario like this. So definitely worth one checking out as well.
Absolutely. Good call, James. Then, okay, so I've got Isabel here, who is perhaps, we'll say you're technically inept rather than what you said, Isabel. So I suppose it's an online program. Do you need to be technically savvy?
No, it's very, very user intuitive. To kind of give an example, if you can operate Netflix, you can operate the online platform. It's very, very easy to operate. We give you all the tools and resources needed. You don't need to go out and purchase any additional books or software or programs. Everything for you will be housed in your online platform, as well as the membership library. And on top of that, you have the lovely resources of Alex and Daniel and the rest of the support teams, who will help you if any kind of technical issues do pop up. But it is very, very, very user intuitive, and you'll be able to manage yourself just fine.
Great, thanks, James. Now I'm going to hopefully I do this right. Share my screen for a second. Am I doing it? Can you see my screen?
I'm not getting it yet.
Can you see my screen?
There
Yes.
we go.
There you go. I'm technically sufficient. So I've got a question from Johnny just asking about CPD and gaining credits. So unfortunately, James's screen didn't have my CPD open earlier. So I just thought I'd show my screen there so that you can actually see what that looks like and what it is. So once you certify and you do the DMI Pro, you become a certified digital marketer and you get the CPD designation CDMP. So that's what you'll see whenever you log into your CPD area. You also have a tracker. I'm very badly behind. I'm not a good example at all here, but what you have to do is do 45 CPD credits over a 3-year period. It's not as challenging as it sounds. We have 79 CPD eligible activities within the DMI platform, but anything that basically maps back to your certification or supports the learning that you achieved in your certification is eligible for CPD. So you can add the credit and we review it and validate it. So CPD is there as a means to basically maintain your certification lifelong. So as we mentioned earlier, certifications change on a regular basis. I think most people understand that your certifications do have a life cycle of maybe 3, 4, 5 years, depending on perhaps the geography or area or qualification that you have. But ultimately, this is a means to make sure that your certification remains relevant, remains that you can actually promote yourself as a CDMP holder to any stakeholders that you have, may it be employers, recruiters, clients, whatever it means, that you can actually say, do you know, I have the certification and I'm also maintaining it by doing regular learning activities that support and map back to that learning on a regular basis. It's very easy and simple to use. You can add your credits using the green button up here. We're very responsive in terms of anything that's needing to be added. We give you examples of how to earn your credits as well outside of the DMI learning platform. And then there's also the rules of that as well. So the rules are fairly simple. Just keep logging those CPD credits within that 3-year cycle to make sure that you meet that 45 CPD credits obligation, and then make sure that your power membership is maintained throughout the process as well. Now I'm going to knock this off again before I get into trouble. So let me know that that screen's gone.
You're good.
But if you have any questions on CPD, please feel free. Now, I know we're over time, but there's lots of questions here. So we'll keep going for a little while longer. And if it doesn't suit you to stay on the line, then pop off. The team here will no doubt be putting this up on YouTube as well. So if you need to head away, you can catch the rest of the Q&A, but we'd love you to stay with us. So let's just do a few that we haven't covered off just yet. So let's go with what is the reset fee? So Alex, maybe if you could just talk about that. We've obviously mentioned it earlier on in terms of the number of attempts that you have and so forth. So maybe if you could just explain that again.
So the reset fee, let me get the exact number for you here. James, would you know it off the top of your head? Sorry, allow me to go to the knowledge base and get the exact number for you. But the way it works is, as James pointed out, I'm just typing this in here as we go. The first exam is covered in your course fees. We give you a voucher for that. But the repeat fee is €60. I can't do the calculation into American numbers at the moment, but it would be €60. So that's half the price of your initial fee. And that one is you pay at time of booking. And it's
about
the same
$70.
price. Okay, thank you. So yeah, so there you go.
Perfect, thank you. Okay, so there are a few questions just on the expert side of things that we might touch on. So Alison is asking, if we're doing the expert course, will we have access to the quizzes on the pro course? So one of you wouldn't mind taking that question?
Sure. Now, you'll have access to quizzes throughout your expert program, just like you would in the pro level program. Again, because those quizzes are you're not graded on them. You're very much, they're there for your knowledge to make sure that you're retaining the material that you're going through the lecture videos and the study guides and exercises. And again, you can take them as many times as you'd like. So the expert course very much does have quite a few quizzes, as it is a much longer course and much more modules and lectures. So you will have plenty of quiz chances to go through. They aren't necessarily the same quizzes as the pro, but you will have plenty of chance to test your knowledge.
Perfect. Now, guys, we've got 4 more questions, so we'll wrap it up shortly. But Naomi, Pamela, Cynthia, and Johnny, we've got those questions. We'll have those answers for you now. So let's start with Naomi, who's asking about the DMI expert. So she's asking, if you're taking the DMI expert diploma, how easy is it to progress then to the master's program? How does that work financially? We might have to, we can maybe speak to Naomi in a bit more detail after that, so we can keep it quite high level. And then lastly, how is the DMI expert accredited? Who's it accredited by, and where it would be recognized? So Alex, if you wouldn't mind taking that one, please.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll start with the last question because that one's the quickest, and then I'll work my way back. So it's accredited, we're credit rated by the Scottish Qualification Authority, and we are globally recognized. So just like our DMI Pro, this is the Digital Marketing Institute itself is a globally recognized education provider, and industry would be people in the industry would be very, very familiar with our work. And as James said, it's industry accredited as well. The MSc program is actually in partnership with a university in Manchester in England. So when you complete our MSc program, you actually get a degree from the University of Salford, is what it's called, in Manchester. So you're getting an actual, you're getting an industry degree from us and a MSc from a UK university. To transition to the master's from the postgrad, you need to do another application, and your DMI expert actually forms the first part of the master's program. So that's the first year, and then there's another year to 18 months of you do 2 courses with Salford, and then you do a thesis. Yeah, there's a bit of an application process for that, and pricing also, you have to pay again. That's the least fun part of it. Yeah, but it's a very kind of streamlined transition, because the MSc, the first part is the PG. So you've already completed 1/3 of your master's if you do that. There's a third question, but I cannot recall it.
No, thank you. No, yeah,
okay. Cool.
So
just to touch on that too, Alex, and please correct me if I'm wrong on the pricing aspect though, but if you enroll in the expert first and then transition to the master's, right? Since you're not paying the expert price that you see on the site and then the master's price that you see on the site, right? You're essentially almost paying the difference between those two, right?
Exactly. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Thanks for clarifying. Yeah, you won't be charged again for the PG. Yeah.
Yes.
Thanks, James.
James, one for you now. So Pamela wants to start her career as an independent social media manager. She's going to be offering Facebook and Instagram campaigns, posting and ads, but she doesn't plan to offer PPC. So the relevancy of the question is, she's wondering, is the DMI Pro the best course for her, or the social media manager specialism course?
Sure, that's a great question. And really what that boils down to is your experience level and comfort level in digital marketing already. A lot of people who are specialists and independent freelancers do enjoy going through the pro, because even though it'll cover areas that they may not touch on, it teaches them how to make a very well-rounded strategy for their clients. And you could potentially give them tips and hints on other areas to make them more effective, to draw attention to their business. If you have that base knowledge already, that social media specialist program might be the best fit for you then. And this is really where the one-on-one calls with an advisor to kind of hatch out which course might be the best option for you may be. Now, if you don't have that super high level comfort with all the foundational knowledge, but you really want that deep dive, we do also do bundle options. And this is a great option for you where you can do the pro level with the specialist in social media as well, enroll in basically both at the same time. You do one course and then the other right afterwards, but it's at a much lower rate than enrolling in each course separately at a different time. And this allows you to get the base level foundation and then take that much deeper dive into the social media side of digital marketing to set yourself up for as much success to be a freelancer.
Perfect. Thanks, James. And keep it on you now with Cynthia. So she's asking about the DMI or AMA. How does it work and how can folks take advantage of it? So I know we touched on it very briefly and it's mainly applies to the US audience, but I know we have a good few people from the US on here today. So maybe you could talk briefly about that.
Yeah, definitely. So I believe it was March, we have officially launched our partnership with the AMA. It had been in discussions with them for a while. They have for a long time offered their PCM certification, the Professional Certified Marketer certification, through an online course. And they were taking a look at our program and saw how well it is recognized around the world, and the fact that we do update it as often as possible, and really enjoyed the content and the curriculum of the course, and saw how extensive it was. So what they are doing now is completely validating the course. So going through the DMI Pro, you will earn 2 certifications with between us and the AMA. It's 1 certification actually, but you'll get the 2 certified titles and that recognition from the AMA. So there's nothing that you would have to do separately on your part. It's just automatically happens. And so your certification would have both the DMI logo and the AMA logo as well. And here in the States, that's huge because the AMA is so well recognized in the marketing community. It will really help kind of set you apart.
Perfect. And the last series of questions come from Johnny, and they're all membership related, so you can both have a rest in a minute. So, Johnny, thank you for your question. I love talking about this. So, Johnny's first question is, what are the perks of DMI membership? So, Johnny, there are a huge range of benefits for having the membership. But if I talk about some of the practical things that actually support not only your learning experience with DMI as in the program, but also in terms of actually the day-to-day benefits that you can have from using DMI membership. So our library, we'll start there. The library comes along, so as I mentioned earlier, you get membership along with a program purchase. The library is part of the membership offering. So the library, you'll find the content from the library as bonus content throughout your program, but it's also there to address all those just-in-time things that are happening in the digital marketing landscape that we can't address in the program content. And there's lots of different tools that you can use as well that will be able to assist you in doing your day-to-day running. So whether, I don't know your background, Johnny, but if you, for example, need help in actually building your email marketing strategy, or your content and you need a content marketing plan, or you need a marketing budget, all those templates are there. Even to the other side of it, whereby if you needed to understand best practice in terms of writing a cover letter or putting together a CV, there's templates in there. And we don't just say, here's the template, we show you how to use it as well, because you give somebody a blank piece of paper and that's no good at all. There's so many different ways to take your journey with something like that there, and different approaches. So we actually show you how to use them as well, with either examples or walkthroughs that accompany each one of those as well. So the library has a vast range of formats and also subject matters covering all the core themes. There's something there regardless of your learning style or regardless of the time that you have available to take in some piece of content as well. So if you've 15 minutes, then maybe it's an article or a video. If you've got an hour, then maybe it's an ebook or a webinar that we have up there. But there's lots of different content and lots of up there as well, depending on your preferred way of consuming that content as well. We mentioned the event section as well. So we run between 12 and 15 live webinars every single year. We pick some of the best subject matters out there globally. Last time we had Karen from Florida. Coming up, we've Will from Wexford and Kelsey from Kansas there, who are speaking on various different topics as well. And you'll see them well placed throughout all our throughout the DMI, be it on the programs, the podcasts, the webinars, or even just the general content that we have in our library. So they're there to offer insights into what's coming down the line, or make sure that you're established with the best practice and formats to approach every scenario. Then we have the community, which Alex went into in great deal earlier, so I won't go into that too much. With the podcast, it's only launched about 6 months ago, but we have about 13 episodes up there now with lots of different experts speaking about everything from time management to productivity to leadership to search marketing and email marketing and content marketing. So there's a breadth of knowledge available in there. So you can be tuning in on that while you're doing the hoovering or or taking the car ride to the shops. So whatever, there's a means of checking out and getting the best content. Then outside of that, the CPD area that I mentioned earlier. So CPD is completely separate from the DMI Pro and the certification. The certification stands to you. The CPD is just an extra benefit that allows you to claim and get your learnings validated outside and after your certification. So just to make sure that there is that distinction there between the two, and it is 45 CPD credits across those 3-year that 3-year cycle. We recommend you do about 15 a year. The minimum requirement is 5, but we recommend 15 just so that you're not left with 30 credits to do in your final year. But they're really easy to get. Our live webinars in the main equal 1 CPD credit. Our ebooks range from between half to 3. Our short courses, which are also another perk of membership, they rate as well between 1.5 and 3, and they're a range of uncertified short courses covering off various different topics that are pertinent to life as a digital marketer. And of course, as James mentioned earlier on, membership is still quite new. It's only been around for coming on 2 years now. So basically we're still building out the value proposition. We've got lots more exciting things coming down the line. Some of them will be built out this year that will focus around building out that member profile and member presence in there. And then we've got new exciting initiatives next year. Should also mention as well that we're all about you and the member and giving you the platform to build your presence within this community. So the 2 ways that we do that is one, using that show and tell area within the community that Alex mentioned earlier, but also anybody who has published or written or authored a tool, an article, ebook, a case study or whatever, has the ability to submit that and work with our membership content editor to have that publicized on our platform as well. So if you go in and have a look around the library, you'll see different pieces that says member spotlight, community insights, and that's all the different content that has actually been produced within the community, and some of it is just exceptional value adds that really address what's happening right here and now within the landscape. So I could go on and on and on, but I know we're over and I won't I'll pick up the stage that I'll sign off and take any other questions offline if you have any. Thank you very much for joining us all today, and great to have so many of you still with us at the end of the webinar. Apologies, I know we ran way over, but we always feel that this question area is one of the most important sections of it because it really gives you the opportunity to ask and have addressed the questions that really matter. Thank you so much to Alex and James for the walkthrough today and also for answering all those questions. With DMI, we're here to help and support you throughout your learning journey. So if you have any further questions, just get in contact with us on the website. There's a support chat box there, and one of our teams will be able to get in touch with you. It's seamless, it's immediate, so don't be afraid to reach out to us. And I hope to see as many of you as possible at that next webinar as well on the 17th of September. It's sure to be a good one, and check out those podcasts as well. So thanks very much, and good day, good night.
Thanks, Caroline.
Stay safe. Yeah, definitely.
Everyone.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for joining.